Hello guys, in this video we are going to see what is a small talk, where and when we have a small talk, why do we need to have a small talk, and what is the better way to have a small talk. So as part of this video I am going to give you a few amazing questions to have a better conversation when you come across acquaintance or stranger. Stay tuned. Let's see what is a small talk. Small talk is a conversation which we have with people whom we really don't know. It could be our co-worker, it could be our boss, it could be our friend's friend, or it could be our relative's relative. So basically this conversation we will have with people whom we really don't know or whom we know but not really well. Let's see where and when we do have small talk. In many circumstances of our life, we come across many new people, such as relatives' marriage function, family function, and office party, and office conference, and meetings, etc. Now we see why do we need to have a small talk. There are three reasons why we need to have a small talk. The first one is to keep everybody comfortable in the conversation. Let's take an example where we are going for a party and we are sitting along with our friends and our friends are sitting next to them. We know our friends really well. We are close with them, but we don't know our friends, who they are, what they are, where they come from, what they are doing. So anything we don't know. We can easily make out a conversation with our friends, interact with them. We can smile, laugh, giggle, we can do everything, but it's difficult to have a conversation with our friends. So in this scenario, if we leave our friends out of the conversation, they wouldn't feel comfortable. At the end of the day, we also wouldn't feel comfortable. In order to have a comfortable environment in the conversation, it's better we include everybody. The second thing why you need to have a small talk is when you pick a conversation with somebody, you will get to know more about another person. They will also get to know more about you. So when you get to know about each other, so it will help you to identify the similarities between you and them. If there are any similarities, let's say you play a football game, another person also wants to play a football, but he doesn't know anybody to play football game. So you may call them to join you in the weekend to have a football match. So likewise, it will help you to establish a friendship. So let's say if it is a girl and you are interacting with her, let's assume the conversation goes really well and you like her. Fortunately, she also likes you very well. It might help you to pave a way for the date. It will help you to find a mentor for the venture you are pursuing also. It might help you to find a right partner for the venture you are pursuing also. In all these ways, it would be helpful. The third thing is to have fun and enjoy the moment. When you are somewhere and you don't know anybody and everybody around is laughing, giggling, pulling each other's leg and enjoying the moment, it's better you also pick a conversation with somebody so that you also can experience and enjoy the moment. Now we have seen what is small talk, where and when we have a small talk, why do we need to have a small talk. Now let's see how we can have a small talk. When it comes to a small talk, it's basically a conversation we are going to have with someone whom we really don't know well. It might be stranger, like that I explained already. So that's why we need to make another person feel comfortable. They also have to make you feel comfortable. Basically, when it comes to a conversation, it's nothing but exchange of thoughts. You share your thoughts with another person share their thoughts with you. So you have to express positive vibes to feature in their good books. If you emit negative vibes, the people will not be attracted to you. So the conversation has to be fruitful. It's better we learn what kind of questions we can ask when it comes to small talks, what kind of questions we should refrain from asking when it comes to small talks, because we don't know that person very well. If we know that person very well, what he is, how he is, everything in that scenario, it would be okay. When it comes to small talks, you are going to have a conversation with another person. You want to know more about another person. It's better if you don't ask them questions which will give you single word answer like where do you live. Better ask them open-ended questions like what keeps you busy nowadays, because if you get a lengthy answer, the conversation also will prolong. You can have a lengthy conversation. In that way you can exchange more thoughts with another person, so the conversation will be fruitful and you can know more about each other. The another thing you could do is compliment. The one thing I'm repeatedly saying is keep another person in their comfort zone so that conversation can evolve and it will help you to establish the relationship also. Let's take one example. For the next assignment in your office, you have to work closely with another person, but that person is not closer with you right now. You have to establish a relationship. So you need to find an opportunity. Let's say that person wants a new mobile today, surprisingly. You could tell them your mobile looks so beautiful and gorgeous like you. It will make them feel good point and help you to initiate the conversation in the right direction. Let's take one more example. One of your co-workers got a new hairstyle today, so you could tell them, wow, you got a new hairstyle. Maybe they could ask you back whether I look good in this or not. You can reply them saying you always look beautiful regardless of the hairstyle you own. Okay, this way you could initiate the conversation and compliment another person. In another scenario, let's say one of your co-worker looks so stressed. Maybe you could go to them and ask them why you look so stressed. Stay happy. It will also make them feel good and make you feature in their good books. The another thing you could do is don't hold back. When you begin the conversation, you have to give something for another person to work with. Let's say you have been asked, what do you do for a living? You could say, I'm an accountant, but I don't cook the books. See how funny the response is. Now that person could ask you another question. It's not like you are making them scramble for what next question could be asked to you, right? So let's take one more example. You have been asked what you have been up to. Maybe you could reply them saying, I have been to Italy this year along with my kids. Now they know that you have kids. Maybe they can ask you back how old your kids are, what they are doing, where they are studying, how they are studying, so and so. Likewise, the conversation would evolve. The another thing you could do is you can revive the dying conversation. Sometimes silence could be prevailing in the conversation. So that time you could throw some more questions so that another person could process and get back to you. Think of silence as a transition, because silence is not there as long as you think there is. You always can revive the conversation with a new questions, with a different topic, and you can take the conversation in a different direction. But in sometimes if you see people want to get out of the conversation, in such situations you need to allow the people to do so. You should not look like a blabbering idiot holding them and talking something bullshit which they don't want to. The another thing you could talk about is the venue. Let's say you are proceeding a conversation with your acquaintance in a party, but you don't know how to proceed the conversation further. The one thing which always comes in handy is the venue. Maybe you could talk about the venue, how the venue is decorated so well. They also would agree. They also would say, oh, yeah, this is decorated very well. So it could have been done in a better way, or this is the best decoration they could have ever seen. Maybe they also would voice out their thoughts. Maybe you could say them like the music playing around is so pleasing to the ears. Maybe they also would agree with you, or likewise you can exchange the thoughts talking about the venue and proceed the conversation. And maybe you could say them like the line for food is so lengthy, so likewise you can talk about the menu and what is present around and inside the venue. So let's take one more example. So the office has been decorated so well for the Christmas ahead of time, and you are sitting with your co-worker. You want to pick a conversation and you want to continue the conversation. Maybe you could tell her, so the office has been decorated very well. You feel like you are already celebrating the Christmas. Maybe she also would agree, and she also may express the happiness or what she feels, how she feels about the decoration had been done inside office. The another good thing you could do is less talking, more listening. So the one universal but sad truth is people always care about what they have to say. It's not that what you have to say. People always love talking about themselves. Let's take a scenario where you are along with your acquaintance in some venue. Maybe you could ask them what do they do professionally, what do they enjoy recreationally. So it will help them to open up about themselves. Maybe they can explain you like they do this, they do that, they do this for this long time, so they enjoy doing this, they spend so much dedication, hard work, like that. Likewise they could explain and love talking about themselves. You should be a good listener when it comes to a small talk and make the conversation go smooth and let the conversation prolong. So far we have seen how to pick a conversation with somebody and how to make the conversation go smoother. Now we are going to see how to implement Ford technique to have a better small talk. So this Ford technique is basically a research backed technique, and it is more about asking questions to people. Let's see the first letter in the Ford technique. The F in the Ford technique represents family. So when you have a conversation with a stranger, acquaintances, boss, co-worker, so you can talk about the family. You can ask them where do they live, what do they do. So, but if you are not sure whether they got a family, you could ask questions like, so what do you do after your work? What keeps you busy during the weekend? What do you enjoy doing during your leisure time? With whom you spend most of the time? So that person can reveal more about themselves, and you could ask appropriate follow-up questions so that you can have a better conversation. Let's take a look at the next letter in the fourth technique. O in the fourth technique represents occupation. This is again one of the right topics to have a conversation with strangers, acquaintances, boss and co-worker. You could ask questions like where do you work, what kind of work you do you enjoy working in this designation, do you enjoy working in this company, what is your company culture. But prior to ask this kind of questions, make sure that person has a job. If you are not sure whether that person has a job or not, you could instead you could ask questions like what keeps you busy nowadays, in which activity you spend most of the time, so that you can have an enjoyable conversation at the end of the day. Let's take a look at the next letter in the fourth technique. R in the fourth technique represents recreation. Recreation is nothing but what people do for enjoyment or relaxation. So when we come across people whom we really don't know well, we could ask questions like what do you like to do for fun, what do you do on the weekend, so where did you go for vacation. So such questions you could ask. But if you are aware about a person's hobby already, let's say a person is very much interested in trekking and he often visits different mountains to perform the trekking also, in that scenario you could ask questions like which was the last mountain you visited for trekking. That way you can have a better conversation with another person. The last part of the fourth technique is asking question about others' dreams. When it comes to dreams, don't think like it is the dream you have when you fall asleep. So it is actually about other people's dreams, that what they want to become down the line. Don't hesitate to get creative with questions like what have you always been wanted to do? If you could travel anywhere, which place would you like to visit? Where do you want to see yourself down the line 10 years? It might take a few attempts to get that person interested in talking. Be sure to listen and reflect back. So the final suggestion I would like to give you is don't talk about religion. So like you brag about your religion, because when it comes, be it small talk or a conversation, because you belong to some religion, if you are conversing with another person, that person might belong to different religion. So things might not go well if you talk about religion. In most occasions, it's better avoid talking about religion. So with this, I end this topic. So I hope this video would have been useful to you. Thank you guys. Comment below how you find this video, whether it is useful to you, whether it helps you to improve. So I will make sure I visit you all with the next useful video. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.